Hello people, it is I, James. Just thought it's the end of the year, give you a bit of a walk round of the workshop, show you what's what, talk you through some bits we've got going on. Excuse my croaky voice, like many people I've had a bit of the lurgy, and it's tried to steal my voice, but I'm trying to soldier on, so we'll keep going. So this is the main machine room, which we have the engine dyno in. There's Antoine's 914 engine that we recently finished. We've had his fan housing vapor blasted. We've got the 123 distributor on there, which they're very popular due to all the extra functions and bits and pieces going on with them. This has a C25 cam in it. He didn't want anything too monstrous, but wasn't after huge power from it. It's only going in a 914, which they're quite light anyway, aren't they? So we managed to get this to after we applied the corrections. I think it was 117 brake horse, so that should do for him, I think. But yeah, so this is the engine dyno, so we're able to run engines up and set them up fully when we build them. That's the water brake, gets fed water in from the controls over here. So that's our gate valve. Open that loads water up into the water brake, which then gives us the reading on here, so we can see torque, calculate brake horse. Obviously a few important readouts there: oil pressure, temperature, fuel pressure, air fuel readings as well. So that's good, rather than just setting them up and only being able to set them at idle on a test bench. We're able to fully test it under load and make sure if you take the engine away and fit it yourself, when you fit it, we can be confident knowing that it's fully set up, it'll drive correctly, and hopefully no oil leaks and stuff. If anything occurs while it's here, we can sort it on the dyno, obviously, which is a lot easier than having to remove and refit the engine once you've spent time fitting it, or if we fit it, obviously us having to remove and refit it, it's a bit of a pain. Over here, good old Bridgeport. We've got two of these now. This one will be set up for specific job, and then the other one, once I've fit a new belt and done a few things to it, that'll become the main machine that I'll use for machining cases and cylinder heads. For now, we've got a Type 4 case set up on here. Looked like it had come from under the sea. It was pretty badly rusty. As you can see, there's a few of the head bolts have snapped off. We've had to cut them down. Obviously we'll mill them flat, and then we'll drill them out, possibly have to helicoil the case, and then get the rest of the case cleaned up. And we're also boring this for 103mm cylinders, so we can bore any Type 1 or Type 4 case for bigger barrels and pistons. We do that after we've line bored the case and then set it up on here, so the case is parallel with the crank centre line, and then everything sits where it should be, and then we can deck the case when we've finished to make sure that your deck heights are all as close as feasibly possible. It's a bit difficult getting them 100%, but as well, once the deck's in line with the crank centre line, then everything should run a bit more smoothly. Bits and pieces everywhere. It looks untidy, but it's a bit difficult to keep things really tidy when we've got so much going on and so much equipment, as I'm sure you can understand. This is one of my favourite machines. I've had this quite a while now. This is a valve refacer. You put the valves in there and then run them across the stone. I've just got a new stone here because that one's a bit worn now, and getting a bit small. We can grind the rocker tips on the end there as well, to grind them flat if they've got damage. So if the valves are showing any signs of wear or whatever, we can obviously clean them up so they can be reused. If you're just reusing stock valves and whatnot. We've got engine cases absolutely everywhere at the minute for various different things. These all need to have a good clean, so they'll be going through the parts wash that we're hoping in the next week or two. One of my friends is going to come and help get that wired up and get it rigged up and working. That should save an awful lot of time once we can put stuff in there and obviously press a button, leave it running, leave it cleaning while we get on with one of the million of other things that we need to do. This is where we strip down and rebuild the cylinder heads, various springs and valves and bits and pieces ready there. This is actually the stripped down bench, so when we get an engine in that needs stripping for rebuild, it gets stripped down on here, stuff gets tubbed up, boxed up. Obviously eventually we'll be able to strip stuff down, put it in the baskets in the parts washer, like I say, leave that to be cleaned and make life a lot quicker and easier, being able to assess things faster, so we'll be able to see what condition things are in straight away. So yeah, so that's that. We've got a little mini desktop honing machine, not had a chance to get that set up and working yet, so one of our friends does the honing for us of the new little ends when they need replacing in the conrods. Thanks to Dave Waddy. Storage facility, lots of cases again, all just, a lot of those are just stock ones sat waiting, that not that great. Some of them are just sat there really for spares and for playing about with, doing test machining. When we're trying different things, we're always trying to improve and set up to do new machining jobs. Bearings, which have become in short supply now, made the job really difficult, but we're hoping that there'll be fresh supplies in 2025 that should make things a bit easier again. Move through to this room, which is looking a bit cluttered at the minute, but we've not long had this Bridgeport given to us. I'm waiting for a new belt to come for it because it was a bit noisy on the head. So like I say, once I get that sorted out, I can get a DRO on there, and then we'll be doing most of the case and head machining tasks on this one, and the other one will be for the line boring. That's the most valuable piece of equipment in the winter. Nice wood burner there, keeps us nice and toasty warm. Old Harrison lathe. We've got a Chester lathe there. Again, that one needs a few repairs to get up and running fully. And then we've got our Turner crankshaft balancing machine. So we usually have the laptop sat up on the top there. We can balance any inline or flat cranks. We just can't do V cranks. It's not often we'd need to do V cranks anyway. So yeah, we can balance any crank assembly you may need. We start off with the crank, just with the gears on. You might have seen previous videos we've done. Then we'll put the flywheel on, balance the flywheel, then the pressure plate, balance the pressure plate, and then the front pulley. So everything's balanced individually but together as one assembly at the end, ready for either your engine build, or if we're tasked with building your engine, we always try and make sure that we get the lowest possible balance numbers, and then you get the best, smoothest running engine possible. Obviously it's not just your crank assembly to balance, as balancing your pistons, your conrods, everything else, but we can do all that for you. Cooled School, that's mine and Chris Riley's project that we've been doing now last year. That's been quite popular. We'll be running various different dates again in 2025. We're going to be at Midland Swap Meet doing a bit of promoting of that. So yeah, looking forward to getting stuck into that again. We're going to be writing more courses to run alongside the one that we started off with last year, which was the Engine Basics. So yeah, keep your eyes out, like Air Cooled School if you want to see more information. We've tried to put pictures and videos of the different days that we've done, and the review cards that people have written afterwards. I don't think anybody's had anything bad to say about that, so that's good. That's the us. So this is the engine assembly room. So in here, this is where the wife mostly hangs out because she does most of the engine assembly work. There's a John Beagry's engine. He's had all his tinware powder coated, nice red colour there. So that's a 1641 single port Engel 110 cam. We've ported the heads, unshrouded the valves, done 3-angle valve seats, back cut the inlet valves, all to try and get as much flow as possible from the heads. Obviously most of the power comes, well, it all has to come through the cylinder head, so the better flowing and well matched you have the cylinder heads, the more improvements you can get from everything else. It's fully balanced crank assembly, balanced con rods, balanced pistons, all match weighed and everything. Piston ring gaps all checked and set, and everything else that needs doing before you get to that stage. Obviously bearing clearances are all checked and set on every engine build, and along with everything else that needs adjusting and setting to manufacturer specifications. Obviously tool sets. We do most of the measuring bits and pieces on here, so we line board a case, check and measure the case journals, put the bearings in, measure bearing clearances. Find that quite a lot of the Silverline bearings previously weren't very good, weren't brilliantly sized, and have to use multiple boxes, which can get expensive and it's very time consuming. So I'm hoping that when they supposedly reboot in the new year, there'll be some better products available from them, or if somebody else happens to hit the market, that'd be quite handy. Give us some options, it'd be nice. See everything, case journals and bearing bores, conrod, big end clearances and everything. We'll set the bore mics in one of the setting rings there, so everything's set perfectly, ready for measurement. There's obviously various different ways of doing stuff like that, but it works well for us doing it that way. That's a Type 4 engine that we're doing for Alan. That's had a few upgrades. Scat C25 cam again, that was a 1700 originally, so that's been increased with larger barrels and pistons to 1911, I think they work out at. This is my race engine bit, so I've been trying over the last few days to spend a bit of time and do some checks and measurements and sussing a few things out. We've been checking, setting valve spring pressures and heights for the heads here, which I think those valves should be big enough. It's an 88mm crank, obviously straight cut gears. And we've got a JPM camshaft for this, Carrillo rods, Carrillo pistons. Should be a good spec if we can get it all together, and hopefully in time for doing some racing this season, fingers crossed. The carbs for it, 62mm carbs, so they should pour enough fuel in to bankrupt me quite quickly. And then we've got obviously the canteen area, so yeah, that's about it really. Have a great time whatever you're doing. Hope 2025 is brilliantly successful for everybody, whatever they're doing. We've got a lot of new things that we're hoping to start moving towards, and without as many setbacks as we ended up having in 2024. hopefully we can move things forward. And like I say, I'm really looking forward to hopefully getting the race car done and getting out there and seeing, hopefully avoiding the wall. That's my main thing. I don't need to be fast straight away. I just need to get down the track, avoid the wall, keep the car in one piece. And if I can do that to begin with, I'll be happy. Obviously, the faster the time, the better, but they'll come in time. So anyway, have a great new year. I'll stop waffling on now. Hopefully not too bored, and we'll catch you next year. Bye.